What is up, my geeks and video game freaks? It's Striped Socks here with another Fortnite Battle Royale video. Today I'm going to be going over 20 tips that can be utilized throughout an entire game of Fortnite. If you guys do enjoy, I'd really like a like, or appreciate a like. If you like what you see, consider subscribing. You can do so by clicking the red button below, or I'll link it at the end of the video. With all this aside, we'll go ahead and hop into the tips. So, as any game starts, we'll start at the beginning with tips and landing and picking locations. Locations with names such as Dusty Divot, Salty Springs, Lazy Links, or Tilted Towers are going to generate more people. The locations without names are not going to have as many people as these locations. Keep this in mind when you do decide where to land, because you may not want to land where 20 people are going to be landing. Landing at high traffic areas will really make you force yourself to strengthen your combat abilities. You will die quite often, and I mean 9 out of 10 times you'll probably die unless you've become a god at the game somehow. And you'll see improvement in your skills over time by doing this, because you'll be forced to learn these combat skills. If a location is near water, then dive over the water and you can glide to your location from there. This will ensure that you have one of the lowest gliders and land as one of the first people. If you already see somebody landing at the same chest location, try to go for floor loot. If that's not possible, let them open the chest and then you snatch the weapon. It takes longer for them to get the weapon when they've opened the chest. Finally, breaking furniture in houses are always the best way to gain materials in the early game. This will give you a competitive edge over your opponents when you go into a fight. Now we're going to go ahead and go over some building tips. First of all, if you are on controller, I recommend that you go through and try every controller configuration there is to find which controller one you're fine with. I use Builder Pro personally. It assigns a building piece to each of the triggers and bumpers. So L2 is a building material, R2 is a building material, L1 and R1 are also building pieces. And it really does help if you want to bring your building game to another level, because you can easily build. It takes a bit of getting used to though. If you're on keyboard, I recommend that you go or on PC, I recommend that you go through and you figure out other people's keybinds and kind of configure them to your playstyle. If you don't want to use E to interact with things and things, then you can probably use V or something like that and make it where you're comfortable with your building material and your building settings instead of where someone else is comfortable with it. Never use metal in a build battle. It takes forever to get strong enough to even take on one shotgun shot, and it's never worth it. It's only worth it if it's the only material you have in your inventory. Wood is going to be the best material to use when rushing or in a build battle. It has the least health, but it can go up super fast and it gains its health really fast. Brick is best used when you want to power up and you want to have a strong structure. Metal would only be viable when you know you're going to be in the next circle and want to have a 1x1 up and want it to be strong enough to take on a few shots. But besides that, that's the only time I use metal, and I rarely even use metal. As you can see in the gameplay right now, I only have 27 metal and only 216 brick, because I really don't use either of them. I just use wood. So we'll go ahead, and when you're ramping to somebody and you know they're above you, always do a double ramp. And that's where you place a ramp and then you place a ramp above you so you don't get shot in the head. And it will help you when you're running up to somebody, because you'll have protection from being able to be shot. And when you ramp towards somebody, always try to place a wall in front of your ramp. And even if you can, place a floor below that as well. It will give you an extra layer of protection, and it'll make sure that you cannot be shot down very easily. And I really recommend this when you're trying to really rush somebody, and use this as a great tool for that. Now we're going to move on to some combat skills. And the first one is they're kind of basic things that you can very miscellaneous and can be applied to almost anything. So the first one is, if you have a hunting rifle, never peek until you know that you can make the shot. It zooms in without exposing your head or any other part of your body, so you'll be able to scout out where your enemy's location is. And you can see I do this quite often in this gameplay, because I really don't know where my enemies are, but I want to be able to shoot them, and this really does help. So the high ground is everything in this game. If you always want to build a ramp and wall to make sure that you're above your enemies. And I can always say that if a mountain is in the circle, always try to gain that mountain, and don't be scared if somebody starts rushing you from the mountain. and it's a great idea. See, this guy right here, he didn't do this very well, this whole rush. He kind of just built up to me from a very far distance. No, you should have, he had a launch pad. He should have launch padded to me, and it would have been a totally different story if he had done that, because I would have been I wouldn't have been in the loop of where he was. So always, if you know someone's higher than you, like I was on this house, then always try to launch pad or bounce pad or do something where you can get there a lot faster. But I'm kind of getting off topic here. In combination to building a tower and then double ramping, like I said before, you can get to the high ground very easily in a build battle. This will ensure that you get the edge in your build battles and will be above your enemy. And build battles are almost like a touchy topic, because at one point you want to do it, but you don't want to get into a build battle every single fight. Now, I say when you go to do a build battle or you go to rush somebody, always try to do a shield check. And this is where you take a few shots at them and knock their shield off until you see that they are doing white damage. And once they do white damage, then you go ahead and take the opportunity and rush or take a few shots at them. So never try to rush somebody without knowing where they are on their health situation. Say if you've got 50 health or shield and 75 health, you want to make sure that they're lower in health than you, and then you want to immediately rush so that they're not going to have an advantage and be able to heal up before you can get to them and do the damage that you need to be doing. Now right here you can see me editing a lot, and that is something you guys really need to be practicing. If you are new to the game and you really not sure about the editings, you can always Google all Fortnite editing combinations, and it will pull up every possible editing combo that there is, and this will help you, because if you screw up in your builds like I did, I placed that floor above me, you're always going to want to be able to edit out of that and not going to want to have a situation where you're stuck and you have to sit and break that. The only reason I broke that is because I didn't want the roof above me, because I wasn't sure if anyone in the area had a rocket launcher. And that would make me a very easy target, because they can bounce the rocket launcher off of that. And that's another thing. A lot of people will build walls around them when they see a rocket launcher. They'll build 3 walls and then have one that's exposing them. Don't do that. That makes it where you cannot be safe. You're not safe from a rocket launcher in that situation. You have to be able to go and you have to be able to protect yourself. So if you see a rocket launcher coming at you, always go through and build a wall right in front of the rocket launcher, not behind it, because they can bounce the rocket launcher off the back. So that's one other thing. When you're shooting with an AR, always crouch before you see somebody, because this will make it where you can shoot them and the bloom of your weapon is smaller. With the addition with the first shot accuracy and things, it can make it very easy to kill somebody, and you can do that very, very accurately with this whole technique. When you do want to build like a roof or something on your building, try to do a pyramid and take out one of the squares, and it'll make almost like an arch pyramid kind of thing, and it's very good for your roof. So always try to do that. And that's going to be it for you today, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this. If you did, please, like I said, leave a like. I really appreciate them. Also, if you're new, subscribe. I will leave that as an end card so you guys can see that. That's going to be it for today, guys. I will go through, cut out some of this gameplay so you guys can see the end, and that's going to be it.